and welcome to this week's episode of My Dog Ate My Podcast. I'm your host, Emily, and every week I chat with a different dog owner about their dog. This week I'm chatting with Laura, health research geek and live music freak, about her dog, Bruce. Please enjoy.
This is Bruce. Yeah, I don't know if you've actually met Bruce, but I'm sure you got him through Devin.
So tell me, because I know that you said when you filled out like the form, his full name is Bruce Wayne Campbell Rhodes. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so when we adopted Bruce, we were kind of crowdsourcing names from friends and family and just kind of looking to the universe for guidance on what his name should be. And at the time, this was, I want to say 2010. No, later than that. I'm like, how old are you? You're 11. So 11 years ago. So he was 6 months old. And one of my favorite films, Disney films, is Finding Nemo, Bruce the Shark. And that came on shortly after we adopted him. And as you know, puppies have those little shark puppy teeth. So I was just playing like the shark with him. Basically, I was just like, who's a little shark? And he had these little sharky teeth. So then I was like, maybe you're Bruce the Shark. And he was gray with the white belly. I was like, we'll see if that sticks. Few days later, another favorite film came on. It was Batman Returns, so Bruce Wayne. And then later, this was like, I don't know, I was like in a movie watching vibe, I guess. One of my other favorite films was Army of Darkness, the actor's Bruce Campbell. And then we watched Wayne's World right after that, and the character's Wayne Campbell. And so I started to draw these weird little connections, and basically I was like, I think his name's Bruce. I think his middle name needs to be Wayne, and his last name needs to be Campbell. So it's Bruce Wayne like Batman, Wayne Campbell like Wayne's World, and then Bruce Campbell like the actor from Army of Darkness. The weird thing is all three of those films happened to come out in the same year, and I did not know that at the time.
So how long did it take for his full name to sort of come into
It was kind of over the course of like 3 weeks. Yeah. Like it started with Finding Nemo, and then these films were coming up, and I was like, the universe is telling me what his name should be. And it just stuck. I was like, he's a Bruce, but he's going to have a long, silly name.
Does he get called that name when he's in trouble? Like, does he ever get the full government name, or is it always just Bruce?
He does get it from me. A lot of our friends do call him Bruce Wayne, that they usually go for Batman. Yeah, so they go for that. But yeah, most of the time he's just Bruce or Brewster. He is a little gentleman. He's an old soul. He's been very mellow since the time I adopted him. This is his vibe. He just wants to be here. He wants to be on your chest. He wants to cuddle. He has always been a very mellow little guy. Has a little separation anxiety. That's probably the biggest thing, is like he needs to be on me. He was an easy puppy, I have to say. Like he never chewed. He still has toys from when he was small that he just carries around.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, neither did I. I grew up with, like, most normal dogs. They destroy their toys. There's stuff everywhere. No, he actually will put his toys away if other dogs come and take them. He'll bring them back to where they were and be like, stop touching my stuff.
So he was 6 months old when you got him.
About 6 months.
How did that come to be, or how did that happen?
It was a funny story. I was working in Oakland at the time at a clinic doing clinical trials with different mental health conditions, and my background's in psychology. And one of the things I used to do is I'd step in and help run the front desk when I wasn't in with a patient. And one of our patients comes in one day with a basket of 9 puppies.
Oh my gosh.
And she's very upset because she's worried that the puppy's dad, the male dog, is showing signs of aggression towards them. And she's like, I can't leave them at home, but I don't want to miss my appointments. And I have to be here for 4 hours once a week. What do I do? And I kind of look at my boss and I'm like, can I just watch the dogs while she's in the doctor? And they were like, yeah, we don't want her to miss her visit. She's obviously visually stressed out. Let's just watch the puppies. So over the course of weeks, these puppies are coming in and they're tiny. He was just, in my hands, tiny. And some of them started getting adopted, and he was one of the last ones because he was so just low energy and mellow. A lot of people were like, he's boring, is what they said. I always gravitated towards him. He would fall asleep in my lap. My boss actually at the time was thinking about adopting, and she's like, that's the good one. I think if anyone's going to adopt a dog, it should be that one. And I was like, oh, you should. And she's like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. He's already chosen his person. This dog, just is at home with you. And he would look up at me with his little brown eyes. And I was like, yeah, I think I need to bring a dog home. So
yeah.
So that happened. I got in a little trouble with my partner at the time and my roommates because I did not ask for permission just for forgiveness.
Did he have a name before he became Bruce? Like, how did his previous owners? I know sometimes if people have puppies, they'll like, give them different colored collars and be like, "You're pink girl and blue boy and whatever." But like, did he have a name before Bruce or
They called
how? Yeah.
him Gnome.
No.
We were calling him Gnome because he had gray in the face, like a little gray beard. But when he was small, actually, he was black and tan except for the gray muzzle. And then about around, I would say like 8 months or so, he went like fully gray. Um,
Um,
yeah, and they were like, well, that's normal. Like I was just like, did I stress him out? And they were like, no, he was showing like that was his true color, and like he just had like puppy colors.
did your boss end up adopting any of the other dogs?
She wound up not because she tried, and her cats were not a fan.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, so it worked out very well that this one came to me.
So you said that he's a poodle Chihuahua Terrier mix. Do you know kind of what came from mom and what came from dad based on his previous owner?
No, so it's actually funny. When we adopted him, they said he was a Yorkie mix. That's what they thought their dogs were, because they were like a golden tan and like black. And he showed those colors at first, and so did his siblings. And then when he started to change colors, I was like, I'm gonna do one of those doggy DNA tests. So we did that, and it came back. It was primarily poodle, like small poodle, Chihuahua. It had rat and fox terrier as well as Pekingese and Pomeranian. Um, but because we don't
So
have
no Yorkie at all.
no Yorkie at all, none. Yeah, so we were like, okay, so don't make assumptions about what breed your dog is based on how they look because it's wild. Basically, like I see it now, like when they talk about like personality traits of like poodles in particular, he's very, very smart, very easy to train, really great with kids. Like I take him to work, he's great with everybody in the office. Like he's a champ. So I lucked out. Not much of a yipper. He's never been in like nippy or anything like that, which I've seen a lot of Yorkies, I guess, sometimes can be more people. He's quiet. So that's all of that was telling me, I think maybe he's not Yorkie. And yeah, then did the DNA test, and that's what kind of showed it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Does he shed, or I guess does he not shed like poodles not shedding, or does he shed a bit?
He has to get regular haircuts. He actually just got groomed, so he's got his summer cut right now. He does get quite shaggy. I actually wanted to show you a picture of him when he's not groomed. I don't know if you can see this, but like looks like a
Oh
totally different dog.
yeah, yeah. He almost looks a little like Lhasa Apso-y or
Right?
like Lhasa Apso Schnauzer-y.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really funny. We get Schnauzer, we get Maltipoo a lot. People ask, or Havanese. People think he's Havanese as well. So it goes to show that like those traits show up in all kinds of breeds, right? You just never know.
Yeah. So, what does a day in his life look like? I know you mentioned that he goes with you to work. Like, is that sort of a typical thing, or what's a day in Bruce's life?
Day in Bruce's life. So when we go to the office, yeah, he wakes me up, and he's very good at communicating when he needs to go out. He'll actually hop out of the bed, sit at the edge of the bed, and stare at me if I'm not on top of it, and he'll just do this kind of little grumble like, like, Mom, I need to go outside. And because we live in a city, he's an urban dog. He needs to do his business on the sidewalk. Years to get him used to the grass. He did not know what that was, didn't like the way it felt. Now that we live next to the park, he's a fan, but that took some time. And yeah, we do our morning walk, usually a coffee run up to the local coffee shop. And then he commutes in with me to work, which is about a 45 minute to an hour drive because I live in San Francisco but work in Cupertino, tech life. Uh,
Yeah.
and he's my ride or die. Like he loves going for the car ride. Like he hops right in the front. We have a little doggy harness with a seatbelt. And sometimes I actually also, because I am a dog mom, obviously, get him all the things. So I have a doggy booster seat if he really wants to out the window. And he loves going for the ride. And then yeah, he goes in the office. He usually checks in with everybody in the office to make sure that the pack is all there. Tries to figure out who's going to be dropping crumbs under their desk at some point. Usually my coworkers have snacks and they're very excited to see him. And I have to remind them he's 11 and he's on a controlled diet. But yeah, he hangs out. He brings joy to everybody in the office. We work, fortunately, in a building that has a nice park nearby. So I take him out for a few walks during the day and come back, walks more walkies, all the walkies, because he needs at least 3 a day or he gets upset with me. He runs my schedule. Honestly, like he keeps me regulated. So like
Mhm.
I know what time of day it is based on whether he's hungry or needs to go out.
I think that's good. That's how I feel too. Like if I didn't have dogs, I would probably sleep in way too much.
Oh yeah.
And Frenchies and then Great Danes, they do give me a lot of like leeway. They do let me sleep in probably more than I should. But my boyfriend Shiba will wake us up at 7. And I started kind of resenting that, but then I'm like, okay, no, I appreciate that now because I get up very regularly and he doesn't let me sleep. He doesn't let either of us sleep in. And I'm like, that's good. I'm not sleeping in way too late. I can get up, I can have coffee, sort of start the day right instead of sleeping in too late, having a headache, and then
Yeah.
kind of grumbling about all the stuff I missed out on.
It's so true. It's like honestly, like I'm not a morning person, and he'll let like if I really want to sleep in, he'll let me push it a little bit. But the advantage of him being a city dog is like that routine is necessary. Like he doesn't have a backyard or a doggy door. Like he knows, Mom, I need to go for a walk, and he will get very upset because he does not want to go in the house, and he's incredibly housebroken. Like when he was small, he was just like, no, I don't go in the house. I'm not comfortable with that. So I got really lucky. He was very easy to train.
Oh, yeah, it's the poodle in him. How much does he walk, especially being 11? It seems like he's able to cover some good distance.
He's actually quite fit. I started backpacking with him when he was small, and we took him I think when he was about a year old on like a 12-mile backpacking trip, and he was running ahead of us on the trail and running back. So probably did double the distance. So yeah, I mean on a good day, I think he'll still at this age I don't push it more than 5 or 6 miles, but like he'll keep going. I take him out to Fort Funston. We do Buena Vista, Corona Heights, like different places throughout the city where he can get some good mileage in because this guy loves to go. Like, and that's where he's happiest. Like at home, he'll be a little potato and just cuddle, but as soon as his paws hit outside, he's like, I can go now, right? Like,
Oh, that's good. It keeps him healthy and like it keeps him from like gaining too much weight or like his joints getting too
yeah.
frail.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
his vet said he's incredibly fit. He's had mild hip dysplasia since he was small, but it hasn't gotten worse. He doesn't have any other major health concerns except for like a tiny heart murmur that also like hasn't gotten worse. And she thinks a big part of that is like that his cardio fitness is really good.
And does he get to travel with you a lot? I know he went with you to Alaska,
Mhm.
right?
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bruce is a great travel dog. He's service certified too, so he can ride with me in the cabin. I'm a nervous traveler. I actually get a lot of anxiety when I fly. So that was one of the main reasons that I decided to proceed with that. He'll sit right in my lap, and that pressure is actually incredibly anchoring. So he's been to Alaska with me. He's traveled for work to Boston, back to the East Coast. Last year, we actually drove out to Texas for the eclipse. Goes camping with me a lot. He knows the whole setup. Like he waits until the tent is set up and then moves himself right in. Uh,
Oh,
so yeah, he loves to travel. And we go and visit family and friends usually as often as we can because we have a big dog community. So usually he gets to visit cousins as well, which is
so tell me a little bit about like some of his best doggy friends. I guess either dogs of friends or just like, yeah, his doggy cousins, or who does he get along with the most?
well, you've met Goose and Pilot, who we're
Yeah.
actually renting their home because Devin's a great friend. And while she's in med school, I am the caretaker. So they are an interesting little trio. Bruce is very deferential to them because the dachshunds are in charge. They do vibe well. And then my brother has a dog. I think she's about 6 or 7 now, named Poppy. She's a golden doodle. Bruce totally in love with her, obsessed. Follows her everywhere. And actually, quite a few of my colleagues have dogs. And one in particular, I was dog sitting for 3 weeks. His name's Waffle. And he's a little poodle terrier mix of some kind, similar size. And he's, I think, two or three now. But
Mhm.
it's out like the puppy side and Bruce. The two of them really play together. And like, it was really sweet to see them just chasing each other around. And like, yeah, so they're pretty good buddies, him and Waffle. And then at the dog park, I think anytime he sees another little scruffy, fluffy, similar sized dog, he comes to life. Like they do. I don't know if you've ever seen like little poodle play, the way they'll stand up on their hind legs and kind of lock.
Yeah.
He does that. And so they'll just like dance across the park, locked arms, like they're ballroom dancing.
Oh my gosh. That's a more eloquent way of putting it. I was thinking like tiny T-Rexes, but I like ballroom dancing a lot better.
Also that, yeah, but it is really like the paws up and like, they just lock arms and then kind of bob across the park until they're tired. And I'm like, they're happy. So I'll let
Yeah.
them.
And tell me, what do you think Bruce's inner voice sounds like? Is it like Bruce the Shark, or is it like Batman, or is it completely unrelated to his name?
So it's so funny. I've debated this with my family, and we've decided it's either Butters from South Park, kind of like a little no, like a little awkward, a little nervous, or it's like really deep, like a Barry White vibe.
Oh,
And
I guess it
so
could be both, right? Depending on the mood.
yeah, so we've debated, and like half of my friends and family are like, no, it's like this deep, like kind of crooner's voice. And then, but when I see him, because he's such a little, Velcro dog, I'm just, I don't know, I think he's kind of a Butters.
I could see that. Yeah. I mean, I could see it being two completely different voices. Like what I think of for Mocha, my smallest Frenchie, is that she either is kind of like a I'm just a baby, like small baby voice, or because she's a Frenchie and when she gets all worked up, she sounds like an old lady with like who's been smoking her whole life.
Yeah, and I think it's almost like those are like the personas, right? Like
Mhm.
it's like when he's with his mom, he's like, I'm just a baby, I'm Butters. But then when he's like out with his friends, he's like, oh yeah, I'm like really tough. My name's Bruce, like where he's like really confident. And so that's where I think kind of that like big boy voice came in. Who knows? Who knows what your voice is? For a small dog, when he does bark, it's actually surprisingly deep.
It's good if he barks at anybody outside or anybody on the street. They'll probably think, oh wow, there's like a really big dog
And
there.
the mailman laughs every time because like he'll make his presence known and then he'll look through the window and be like, "Oh, that's you? Like I didn't know that could come out of you." Because he'll get like "Roar, roar, roar," and then I'm like, "It's fine. He's all bark, no bite, like none whatsoever."
A stark contrast to when the mailman probably looked up and would see Goose barking at him through the window before and be like, "Oh yeah, that's a small dog." And what would you say would be like Bruce's theme song if he had one?
The one that comes to mind because of the way that he walks. I don't actually know what the song's called, but it's like it's in all the little social media memes. I think it's kind of like a Minion song. It's that do 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 do, where they
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I hear in my head when I'm walking. Just like he's just curious about the world, sniffing all the things, doing his little sassy walk.
I know exactly what sound you're talking about, and I don't know if it's like a song or like where it actually came from.
I just see it as kind of this background music in a lot of those, kind of that like on loop, almost like cartoony circus music that plays in my head.
It works really well with, I think it was Devin said that Goose has like circus music in his head constantly going. So I think it kind of works with their little pack.
Oh yeah,
They're just a
yeah.
little
That's
circus
like
trio.
Goose and Goose usually are walking behind Pilot because Pilot's like the alpha.
Oh, well, I'll let you guys go. Thank you. And let me stop recording there. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget that you can get more episodes of My Dog Ate My Podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. And if you're interested in following along with Bruce's adventures, you can follow his mom Laura on Instagram at LILTIE. And Bruce would love to shout out the Muttville Senior Dog Rescue in San Francisco. Thanks, and see you next time.